Alright folks, today's video involves four-wheelers. Yeah, we made an executive decision that we don't need two crappy old four-wheelers. We'd rather have one less crappy, newer four-wheeler. So we're going to sell the Kawasaki Bayou 220 and the Polaris 250 2x4. But there's a difference between works and done. Anyway, I have injured my back crawling around underneath of a 1954 GMC backhoe truck thingamajigger. So rather than push it, I'm going to call the Hufflepuff towing service.
I'm not even Hufflepuff today.
And the last time we had some incidents involving towing, so can we redeem ourselves? I think so. I think Max knows how this is going to go.
He hasn't left my side.
Alright, you're going to be the tower or the towee? I think tower. Alright.
Fine, I'll be the tower, but then I'll just get complained about, so...
I'll be the towee.
Whatever.
Whatever. Come on.
We gotta turn the fuel on. Forgot about that. Oh.
I'm
I don't know, the starter doesn't seem to be working too good on this thing. Like it just barely turns over.
I can drive this by myself.
Alright. We'll do it the hard way.
I'll do it the hard way.
Where's the compression release?
What's the
There it is.
Now we need a
Probably needs a starter. Let it warm up for a minute. Whoa! Slowly. It has a centrifugal clutch. If you go too slow, you're just slipping the clutch all the time. So there's a minimum speed.
The last two times you yelled at me for going too fast, and now you're yelling at me for going too slow?
Well, I figured you would go your normal Hufflepuff speed of as fast as it would go. Thanks for the tow, honey. Shut her down. Did a wonderful job. Right, kiddo?
What
Yeah.
is it? What is it, Dad?
Alright. Back to Coco.
Back to Coco.
Well, what do you think? Can we milk a whole video out of this? Guess we can try. We'll start with the Kawasaki Bayou 220. Go ahead and drain the oil out while the engine's still warm. And I bought one of these tune-up kits off of eBay. So it comes with a new spark plug and a new oil filter. Oh yeah, those are tight. Jeepers. Nope. Holy crap. Well, the oil looks pretty good, considering. Cute little baby oil filter. I don't know what that is. Baked on, I guess. That looks pretty good. Looks the same back to front. So we'll slip our metal sleeve back in. Not sure what the quote-unquote right oil is for this engine, but this is what we're going to use. It's made specifically for 4-cycle ATVs. It's supposed to have all the necessary herbs and spices for the centrifugal clutch. I guess, I don't know what it is, friction modifiers or something. Anyway, it's actually cast right onto the block right here. It says 2 liters, which is fantastic. I don't know why every engine isn't like that. Isn't that cool? Why doesn't everybody do that? And there's no dipstick on this engine, just a sight glass. Looks like we're good to go. Let's get that spark plug out of here. We need this little guy. Oh, if we can get it off. The new plug doesn't come with that. Anyway, takes an 18 millimeter, because why not? Yeah, the old one looks pretty good. Well, I replaced the air filter back when we first got this thing running because the mice had completely chewed it apart. It still looks pretty good. So we'll put that back together. Well, it looks good under here. Battery, wiring, just like it was. And I don't know if you guys remember, but I didn't know where to mount that voltage regulator. So some people sent me some pictures of how the regulator looks and how this battery compartment was arranged. And I think I've got it all sorted out. I had to make this bracket here, but that looks decent-ish. I think we're good. Now the oil in the rear end looks fantastic, so we're not going to mess with that. And the level is good. I think it's about right here. And there's a check plug up in the front somewhere. Right there, my finger's trying to point to it. Looks about right to me. And I think the only 2 grease zerks on the whole machine are right here on the spindles. Come on. There we go. Engage the old brain. All right, the top rack on the back of the machine, she's a little bit broken. Looks like an old wound, so I guess we can't blame the missus for this one. Anyway, we gotta glue that back together. Well, it's never going to be pretty, but I think it'll work. Well, I think that's it for the Bayou 220. It's a nice little ATV. Runs great, drives great, brakes work, tires are fantastic. You know, what more could you ask for? There's a few things wrong with it. This lever here is for the rear brakes. That doesn't work. The cable's not even there. But the pedal works just fine, so you still have front and rear brakes. Not sure about the starter, why it cranks over real slow like that. It starts just fine when it's warm. It's just when it's really cold, it doesn't quite have enough oomph to do it. But if you pull the compression release and yank on that handle, it starts first pull every time, so I'm not going to worry about it. Anyway, probably the last time you guys will see this thing. On to the next one. On to the Polaris. Again, just minor problems. Well, I mean, it has major problems, like the brakes don't work at all, but we're not going to fix those. We're going to fix the fuel-related problems. So I guess the big issue with it is, even if you turn the gas off here on the valve, it all just leaks out the carburetor onto the ground. So I got a new carburetor kit. Specifically, we need the needle and seat because ours definitely isn't sealing. And then I also have a new shut-off valve for the bottom of the fuel tank. So we'll go ahead and throw those in. The only other thing I really want to fix is the seat. I don't know what's going on with it. If it's off of a different machine or something, it doesn't fit. Like it doesn't sit down on there all the way. Whatever this bracket is right here seems to hold it up off the frame far enough that the front won't clip in. So anyway, we're gonna look into that. Got to remember how to do this. I think, yeah, that pulls out, and then those maybe had to come out first. Guess that works. There we go. Let's see, that one can stay. Oh, come on. There we go. So the big thing we're after in this carburetor is the needle and seat, or the float valve. You know, the gizmo that turns off the gasoline supply to the carburetor. And I think I commented about this when we took this thing apart the first time. You know, I made some kind of prophetic statement like that's going to be a problem. Anyway, the needle is just hot dog in a hallway loose inside the seat. You compare that to the new one. It comes in the kit. It's nice and tight. So let's swap those out real quick. Well, what size do you think that is? It's not 9 and it's not 10. 3/8? No? Maybe it is 10. Boy, it's pretty sloppy. Guess it doesn't matter. Okay. The kit comes with all kinds of other doodads. There's a new choke or enrichener valve there, idle stop, various jets. I don't know if we're going to put all this stuff in it or not. I mean, it runs fine. It's just leaking gas out of the carburetor, so I don't know. Guess we'll kind of see where we end up. All right, where do you want to go?
Grandma's barn.
Okay. We can go to Grandma's. We'll be back, folks. It's a very small bunny for this time of the year. Well, we survived our trip to Grandma's, and I got the carburetor put back together. Ended up using as many of the new parts from the rebuild kit as possible. I also installed the new choke plug or enrichener valve and the replacement needle. It's put back in the same setting, so we're not going to affect the mixture, but I did replace it. Well, I managed to snake the old fuel shutoff valve off the bottom of the tank. I was going to pull the whole tank out, but it's not a fun job. Interestingly, the main pickup screen is broken off, and it's not in there. I took a mirror and looked inside the tank. It's definitely not there. I'm pretty sure we cleaned the tank out the last time we did battle with this machine, so I'm sure it would have showed up then. Anyway, it has an inline fuel filter, so it's not the end of the world, but yeah, anyway, new shutoff valve looks pretty compatible. Let's see if we can get it installed. This is definitely not the preferred way to do this, but I think it'll work just fine. Actually, I think we should trade places because you can see better than I can. Okay. Okay. Seems to work. Well, the shutoff part of the shutoff valve seems to work. See if it's got enough gas to go to the main position. It does not. And we'll try reserve. There we go. Yep. Really? Come on. Well, before we fire it up and smoke everybody out, I want to figure out what's going on with this seat. This bracket is the problem. It hits here and doesn't let it come down onto these front mounts. So I don't know. Can you guys even see that? Yes, you can. Yeah, it's got to be the wrong seat. Well, unless I'm looking at this all wrong, this has to be a seat off of a different machine. Because it doesn't even, I mean, it's not even close up here in the front. This plastic right here is going to hit the bracket for the tank. I mean, even if that lower bracket wasn't there and it was sitting down, the angle would still be wrong here. So, yeah, they must have taken it off of a different model, just shoved it on this machine. So we're not going to be able to fix that. I'll have to keep my eye open for a replacement seat. Be like that. Helps if you turn the gas on. Let's try that again. There we go. Come on, little guy. Okay, seems fine. The only adjustment on it is for the low speed, just trying to get the best idle, you know, but it doesn't seem to really matter. There's about a half turn in there where it seems to be happy, so we'll leave it somewhere in that range and it should be fine. Yeah, I don't know why I didn't want to take throttle. I just kind of cheated it, gave it a little choke, and then hit the throttle, and then it snapped right out of it. So maybe I knocked a little piece of junk into the high-speed circuit when I was fiddling around in there. Doesn't matter, it runs fine now. All right, before I succumb to carbon monoxide poisoning, I'm going to stick the air box back together, and we'll throw that old seat back on there. It's, you know, as good as it's going to get. I just greased it the last time I rode it, so that should be fine. And yeah, we should be done with this one. The brakes need a complete overhaul, but the mechanical, you know, rear axle brake here, activated by the foot pedal, it does work, so it does have brakes. All right, guys, I think that's it. I want to thank you for hanging out with me. Maybe we can squeak some kind of a halfway entertaining video out of all this nonsense. I'm going for a ride. If I remember to turn the thing on. Alright guys, I thought I would give you a quick follow-up on those four-wheelers. I listed them for sale on Facebook Marketplace about a week before Thanksgiving for what I thought was average or maybe even above average prices, and I had an unbelievable response. I actually sold both of them within about 3 hours of listing the first one to the first guy who contacted me about the first one, and he drove an hour and a half to get here, paid the full asking price in cash. I told him the things that were wrong with them and, you know, that the sale was going to be as is. He said that was fine with him, and we loaded them on his trailer and away they went. So yeah, I don't know, maybe I wasn't asking enough, or the market's really hot for used ATVs right now. I have no idea. I know I've seen other ATVs in this area in the same condition or better condition for similar prices, and they've been for sale for a long time. So I don't know. A lot of times I have a hard time selling stuff, but not this time. So. Nice looking Pete. Come on, buddy, find a gear. There you go. Well, you guys are gonna think I'm making this stuff up. That's the second vehicle that's lost a wheel within eyesight of my house in the last week. Looks like a loaded manure spreader. Oh, yeah, I know this guy. I think we're gonna stay out of this one. I don't know what they're trying to do. Pull down into that field? This is why I'm staying out of it. I hear you, pup. Let's not get any closer. Pretty cold day to be riding a bicycle. What's wrong, pup? Must be nice to be a farmer. If I pulled a stunt like that, cops would have me in cuffs. Well, there goes a manure spreader with 2 wheels. Guess I got it fixed. Oh, people ask me from time to time if I ever say no or turn away work. Yeah, I don't work on manure spreaders. Not if I can help it.